So you want to learn how to solo a bomb site. Maybe your teammates are getting run over towards the A side of the map, and they made the decision to play forward towards A to shut them down once and for all. And it's up to you to solo hold this B bomb site. So what do? Today I'm going to show you the 4 steps of solo holding a bomb site, and maybe after watching this video you'll have some better insight on what you should be doing. So the first step to solo holding a bomb site is to give the enemy false information, or pretend that you're playing aggressively and then falling off. So for example, on the B bomb site of Inferno, let's say that I'm just gonna throw a flash here off the wall, peek, lay down some spam, and just make a lot of noise. I want to give the terrorists the impression that I'm playing aggressively. And then, as I'm making all of this noise, I'm gonna slowly fall back. I believe Dazed back in the day referred to this as waning aggression. You throw some sort of utility, like maybe a smoke, aggressively, you just make a lot of noise, and then you slowly fall back. What this does is, from the terrorist point of view, if you see these grenades and you hear a lot of noise, you're going to be under the impression that the CTs have taken some sort of banana control. So, once that smoke fades, if you ever want to go B, you're going to have to take your time clearing out all of these angles. And in order to clear out some of these angles, you're going to want to use some sort of utility, whether that's throwing a Molotov towards the sandbags or throwing a flash towards the half wall. There's going to be some sort of information that's going to be given to you once they start to advance, so you'll know ahead of time if they plan on coming B. So that's why establishing this fake information early on is really important. So once you've fallen back after making your initial presence, the second step to soloing a bomb site is listening for information and communicating as much as possible. If the terrorists are taking banana control, they're throwing a Molotov towards sandbags, they're throwing a flash towards the half wall, you hear them making their way, taking this map control, you need to let your teammates know. They don't have to rotate immediately, but they need to be ready to come help you if needed. In a 4A setup, you gotta have one guy towards the arches that's ready to rotate back towards B if you need their help. Do your best to communicate any detail that you think might be relevant to winning the round, even if it's something simple as hearing someone jumping on top of the car. That could be an indicator that they're lining up some sort of a grenade for a B execute. So the third step of soloing a bomb site is to hold on to your utility as long as possible. So when you're alone on a bomb site, your objective is to delay the terrorists as long as possible in order to buy time for your teammates to rotate and come help you. How are you going to do that? With your grenades. So, if you hear the terrorists are slowly starting to advance towards your position, just drop a smoke, call to your teammates that they might be coming B, have one of your guys get close in case they do end up pushing. The smoke buys you effectively between 15 to 18 seconds, depending on whether or not they decide to wait until the smoke fades completely before they push. A Molotov will generally buy you around 7 or 8 seconds. So make sure that you hold on to these grenades as long as you can. Now you might have used your smoke early on to do fake aggression and then fall off, which is fine, but make sure at the very least you still have a Molotov. Molotovs are extremely important for delaying the enemy because they either have to push and take a lot of damage, or they respect the Molotov and they stay behind it. And if they stay behind it, that's an extra 7 seconds that your teammate has to rotate and come assist you when the execution happens. The last step to soloing a bomb site is, once the T's actually execute towards your bomb site and the push is coming, you need to stay alive as long as possible. So let's say that they do this execution, they smoke CT spawn, they smoke coffins, they throw a flash over. Pretty standard B execute, right? Even in matchmaking, you'll see something like this at a higher level. Let's say all of this happens, your goal should be to stay alive as long as you can. Again, staying alive is the most important aspect of soloing a bomb site because you need to buy time for your teammates to rotate and help you. If you trade 1 for 1, you've given the entire bomb site to the opponent, and then it's a 4 versus 4 retake, which on a bomb site like B on Inferno, that's not a very easy retake, which is why it's more important to stay alive for an extra 10 to 15 seconds than peeking out, getting a kill, and dying. So you want to play positions where either you have a lot of cover to move around, or you're playing in a spot where it's easy to reposition. So a great example of somewhere you can just, stay alive and hang around is a new box on Inferno. You can throw grenades from this position, and you can just sit back. Once that Molotov fades, you can peek out, do a little bit of shooting, make some noise, and then just stay hidden behind new box. And then all the terrorist attention is going to be on you. So they're going to try to push their way in, and then that's when your teammates rotating can come assist you. A great play that you can do with a teammate is have a teammate throw a flash in front of new box like this while you're playing there. So that way you can wait for this flash and then peek off of it. Since all the terrorists are going to be pushing towards your position, they're probably going to be full blind, and you can get a kill and then stay hidden behind this position. Now, as far as positions where you can easily reposition, a good example of this is towards coffins. You can sort of peek out like this. When they cross, you can get a kill and then fall back into construction, and then it's a 5 versus 4 retake, which is a lot more doable than a 4 versus 4 retake. Another option you have is to play towards CT spawn. You can get the information like this if they're coming. You could possibly get a kill through the smoke and then fall off. You could also go for an aggressive play. You could ask for a teammate to throw some sort of flash like this. Then you can peek off of it, maybe get information, potentially get a kill, and fall off. The bottom line is you want to stay alive as long as possible so that your teammates are in an advantageous situation when it comes time to retake. Staying alive is much more advantageous than going 1-for-1, especially on a bomb site like B, where there's a lot of corners that you can play in the after plan.